Shoot.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Sports Talk Radio. I want to say hello to everybody watching and listening.
What's going on, y'all?
I'm Nikki Marie.
Sticks Mitchell, Sticks Show.
Your boy, M Extra.
Yes. So I think last time we talked about bridging the gap. Now I want to talk about Black Men Speak.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Let's get that conversation going.
Okay. Well, you know, I've become an avid social media user, and I noticed that most people have more than one page that they manage, but also it's their passion. Their page kind of, tells you a lot about a person, and I decided to make Black Men Speak because I have a passion for speaking, but also hearing other men that look like me speak when they have something to say, of course.
Right.
It's just, like I said, something I have a passion for, so I started the page, and I look forward to not necessarily interviewing black men, but just allowing them to speak on that forum and break down what they're saying. Try to.
Well, a lot of the stuff that you have on there right now is actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it speaks
I'm trying to be versatile, and I want to get the voices from different black men from different, generations and different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just speak. I could put it on and speak every day, but I want to give other people a chance. So I'm gonna do some live. I go in street. I ask people at subways. You know what I mean? I go to a huge structure like the Garden and talk to a bunch of people. So you never know who I'm gonna speak to and what type of information we're gonna put out there. I feel like that's what's missing right now with social media. Is accurate information from credible sources.
Yeah.
You never really know what's real. So.
I just talked about that too. That we get our news from social media,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not always 100% true.
Yeah, and I think that's why
Yes.
we have a lot of the conflicts we have going
Somebody
on.
gonna get a fact check app and make millions.
All right, let's turn it to MVP. Let's talk about your choices. Y'all want to know mine?
Man.
Or y'all want to put y'all's first?
Nah, I think we should go first with me because I don't think
Y'all go
nobody's gonna
first.
pick who I pick,
Okay.
and you all can base yours on my reasons for picking Paul George. All right, now everybody will say, all right, Westbrook's averaging a triple-double. Yeah, it's padded. The NBA is plentiful when it comes to stats these days. So let's put a couple grains of salt on top of that triple-double. But we got a guy who's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the NBA, but also leading the league in fourth quarter scoring. I mean, he's basically putting that team on his back offensively. They go as he goes, and that is MVP like in itself because it's a team that we couldn't even see Westbrook give responsibility to Kevin Durant. So for him to say, "Hey, Paul, you got it," that's a feat, man. He's totally enshrined himself in Oklahoma City. The decision he made looks like it really, really worked. And out of all the MVP candidates, he's the only guy that, in my opinion, is asked to defend the best player every night because he'll defend the point guards. Giannis won't defend point guards. He's not coming up the floor with anybody.
Right.
Paul George will defend point guards. He switch out on the big guys. He's trying to block shots at the rim. So he's being asked to do a plethora of things, and he's doing all of them at an extremely high level. Probably, we haven't seen a guy win an MVP playing on both sides in a long time. Steph Curry won 2, being the great offensive player, and then, Harden and then Westbrook won it because of their great feats offensively, and I think it's time to get back to, the two-way players getting the MVPs.
Yeah.
I think Paul George should be definitely in the top 2 of the MVP race, but I think I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to take it to Giannis Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee. I feel like he's doing so much for Milwaukee right now, and I think we got to bear witness to that last week.
You just took my pick.
I'm sorry.
The Greek freak.
That's how you know this stuff isn't scripted, But seriously though, I think Giannis is really making his case because this is his first big year. Like this is his breakout season here, and He hasn't been playing at this level prior to this, but now it's like he's coming into his own.
Yeah.
I was looking at a stat. He's put on about 40 to 50 pounds since he's been in the league. A muscle, like this is a project. This was somebody who we didn't know what his ceiling was. We didn't know what he was going to be when he came here. So he worked hard. He's put in the time. He's put in the effort. He's working out with Kobe Bryant in the off season. Doing all the right things.
I mean, all that's admirable. It's admirable. It's very admirable, and it's a great story. It's a great headline, but it's not an MVP headline. You don't get MVP on your first Ruha.
So you can't give him credit?
You get MVP after you've taken some falls and gotten up a few
You should, though,
times.
if your team is first in the conference, especially when they weren't projected to be in that state.
Listen, the last guy that worked for was D. Rose. All those years ago. That was the last guy. Look, the last guy that worked for, Stephen Curry won it because he was averaging a whole bunch of points. But Derrick Rose averaged about 24, 25 points. He really wasn't, it wasn't a stat thing that got it. It was the fact that the Chicago Bulls were first in the East. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying.
Kind of been the way the MVP's gone a lot of the time.
It hasn't been a while. It hasn't been a while. LeBron, they weren't first. A lot of times,
Cleveland was first.
He didn't get MVPs all those years.
But Miami was definitely first.
He didn't get MVP all those years.
Yes, he did.
Every single year he was in Miami. All right, well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. That doesn't mean that you automatically get MVP.
But D. Rose didn't win it until Chicago was first.
It's one of the checks.
Chicago was first that year.
No, and that's why I said that was the last guy I feel like won it because the team was first. That was the last guy I feel like flat out they said, throw away the stats. Your team's first, you're going to win MVP.
Well, I think Giannis, his usage rate is pretty high also. Let's not forget that he's leading the league in dunks. He's got more dunks than 3 whole teams combined.
With free agency, Luna, we got to talk about what's going to happen with these teams. I feel like the whole landscape of the NBA is going to change with free agency. And we're talking about MVP talk, but you got a guy like Giannis who's up for free agency soon. I mean, he's not this year. But what do you guys think? What do you think is going to happen to the NBA?
Well, I think that...
I think the NBA is going to keep striving.
Yeah, I think Giannis is going to stay put, though. I think that Giannis is going to start a new trend. Yeah, I think he's going to move it back to where we used to be with superstars who stayed where they were drafted and try to build there and build those franchises up.
I see a big takeover. I see Anthony Davis going to Toronto. I see Kevin Durant going to New York, Kyrie, seriously going back to play with LeBron, going to LA. I see that.
I think I see Kyrie in New York though. I don't think I see him in.
Yeah, you see everybody in New York. You probably see Kawhi.
I'm praying
you probably
for
see KD.
I'm praying for
You probably think Anthony Davis. You probably think Klay Thompson's gonna come to New York.
Well, we got.
He never been in New York a day. He can't even do the cold. You probably think he'll come.
Listen, we got room for Klay.
Listen. You got plenty of room, but it ain't about the money. It ain't about the money when you talk about New York. They can get that money anywhere.
Listen,
it's the crazy media. It's about the expectations, and it's about they haven't won since Willis Reed was limping in Game 7.
I heard Greg Popovich loves it here too.
For vacations. It's really nice to come here in the summer.
He should maybe think about coming here.
No, it's great. It's good weather.
Last week. He's a little
you could always catch a cab. He's a white guy.
No
offense. I'm just saying.
I would trade Fizdale on a heartbeat.
I feel like you're talking on a personal level. You can't get a cab?
It's hard. Thank God for Uber.
Yeah. They just have to come.
The first 16, 17 years of life for me were rough. Trust me. I did a lot of walking to trains. But, hey, free agency, what do you think, Nikki? Do you think someone's going to go join LeBron over at the Lakers?
I don't know. I was actually going to ask you guys this question before. You think LeBron on the Lakers is hurting them or helping them?
Oh, he's helped. Economically, the money's coming in. It's reeling in. And they won more games with him this year than they won in the last 2 years, probably combined. So
what does LeBron get out of being with the Lakers?
Well, LeBron's making a lot of other moves. Yeah.
Production company. He's got his production company.
I don't think basketball is first in LeBron's life anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, I think
basketball.
I think
is
if someone
Kobe's
heard
life
you
first.
say that, you could possibly lose
Not
your
what I'm-
position.
not what I'm-
Well, not here because we won't fire you. We
No.
love you. But if you were working somewhere and said that,
Not
you could potentially lose.
not
your
in the
employment.
sense of that I don't think he's working hard at basketball anymore.
No. You just said that that's not his first job.
It's not his
Th-
focus.
that would mean that-
It's not his. It's not his.
First
It's not his
focus,
first.
right?
It's not his
That's
biggest
his
passion
first
right
focus.
now.
That is his first
I
focus.
figured
That
it
man,
was
Because
his
if you
first.
listen to
man-
LeBron's statements, a lot of times he's saying he doesn't have anything else left to accomplish. He's already done as much as he needs to do. He considers himself in Mount Rushmore already.
See, he doesn't
So
understand.
all of these things that he says, they tend to lean you to that side, like that he
See,
feels
see,
like he may be.
see.
But then why not just give up the sport?
Well, I'm
Instead
not.
of bringing
But
everybody
again,
else
but
down.
again, that's what I just said. I'm not saying that he's not making basketball a priority. I'm just saying that I feel like some things off the court may trump basketball. Maybe for him, his movie production company and the shows and all of those things. I feel like he's setting up for life after basketball. Like,
Well, I think it's a
there's
smart
no
business
way.
too. It's a
There's
smart
no
business decision.
way you can have that type of greatness with basketball in your rear view. There's no way. The man dedicates himself every off season physically. Then when the season comes, he dedicates himself not only physically but mentally because he's a playmaker. There's no way he's not thinking basketball all the time and watching film because he does not practice a lot. So he has to watch film. He has to sit down with Rondo and with Lonzo and with the other guards. So this guy's insane. There's no way you can play basketball on that level and it be your second job. First of all, it's his number one income. So if it was his second job, he'd lose it. He'd lose the respect of all his fan base. We just heard the guy
That's the point.
condemn younger players on the
he
team
doesn't.
because he felt
He's
like basketball
talking-
wasn't
he's talking
their
as
first
someone
love
looking from the
or
outside.
their first thing.
you'd have to be in LeBron's head to know what's first. For
I just
LeBron.
told you he made comments
But it's
3
all
days
assumption.
ago. He made comments
It's
3 days
assumption.
ago.
Right.
Just 3 days ago, he made comments about young guys who were not bought in and basketball wasn't their number one focus. He just said that 3 days ago. So he's either a huge pathological liar or he practices what he preaches and basketball's his number one agenda and he's mad that other guys are not
Don't
treating it the
make it
same way. Exactly.
Don't
So
make it the same.
he's just wrong. It's not his fault.
No.
He doesn't have inside information.
No.
That's probably part of his.
Again,
Call up LeBron real quick.
LeBron often refers to himself as someone who's already accomplished everything that he needs to accomplish in his sport. So all I'm saying is that
He's got so much more to accomplish
Yeah.
than Michael.
but we're not talking about what we think he has left to accomplish. I'm saying that LeBron says that he's accomplished everything that he needs to accomplish. So I don't know, but
That
you know,
that was a way to get out of the GOAT conversation and trying to get 6 rings because he can't catch him. Let's move on. Sky LeBron.
Yeah,
We
I
talk
would
about
say
him
it might have been
forever.
a cop out. Like it might have been an excuse.
Yeah, that's the way you know. After he won the ring against Golden State, they came back from 3-1. He said, "Oh, I'm chasing a ghost,"
Mm.
because he thought potentially we could win this year with Kyrie. Then we could win the next year. Maybe the next. Maybe I got a chance to catch him. He lost that year. He lost Kyrie, rebuilding in LA. He knows he's got no shot. So he'll cop out. He'll say things like this.
That is not his first.
Mike loves mediocrity.
love.
He loves these type of comments. Like it's.
I don't know what
buffoonery.
mediocrity has to do with this. With LeBron.
You're trying to say that's what he's given every day. You're trying to say that basketball is his second job.
Not just say that the man is still going hard at basketball. All I'm telling you is that now you're starting to see him position himself for life after basketball. You're starting to see other things starting to come into importance to him.
But that's just general.
That's
But
everybody.
everybody.
Did he have all of these things when he was 25? Did
Wow.
he have them when he was 28, 31, 32?
But
No.
You look
No,
at.
he didn't. So now he's
I
prepared.
think all. I
But
think
you
all.
look
I
at
think.
life-
I think.
you look
I
at
think
life different
LeBron
as
was
you get
building
older.
at 25. We didn't
probably
know
just didn't
because
know.
he's methodical and he's the kind of person that keeps things close to heart
He's
until
not
they come
keeping
out.
any of these things
Right.
close to heart. He's,
Because they're all
we know
fruition.
about everything else
Because
that he's done.
they've all came to fruition. You think the production company just started this year? It's been in the works for probably the last 2 or 3 years.
I don't think that it just started this year, but I feel like now it's coming out and things are being done because basketball is almost over for LeBron James.
Yeah.
Speaking realistically.
We gotta talk about Antonio Brown again.
I like it. I like it. The situation's building.
I just
I like
feel
it. I love
Make some
ongoing
drama.
news.
It's the off season.
I love ongoing news.
The
Listen,
diva.
Antonio Brown
The diva
met
of it all.
with the big Rooney. He met with the
diva.
owner, and the owner said that he would grant his request for a trade. Now, I find that twofold. On one end, it shows the respect that they have for him. We'll meet with you. We'll grant you your trade. No love lost. On another end, it shows the professionalism by the Steelers organization, who will not be tarnished by this. They will not. They'll go out and get free agents. They'll keep the guys that they groom. This is not going to hurt their
You
brand.
do know that this professional organization that you just referred to was just in the paper referring to Ben Roethlisberger's teammates as Ben's babies or boys.
Yeah, because he's an older statesman, and that's kind of, the take you
Ben's
got to
kids.
have. Listen, you want to make racist and slavery, references. I don't know. I'm really not that kind of guy. I don't like that rhetoric.
I'm not
I don't
really-
think they were trying to make that reference. I'm just being honest. If I called it what I
I don't
see
even
it.
take it as a. I don't take it as a slavery thing or a racist referral.
You're like, he's,
I
he's
think
the
that
dad.
right. I
and
feel
they're
like
the- and they're
I
the
feel like you're
children.
belittling these
The
guys'
guys.
mental state. You're belittling them as
He's the older
competitors,
statesman.
the roles
He's
that they
the
play
only
on this
guy.
team.
He's the only guy in the team that has Super Bowl rings.
I think Mike is trying to say like
Give me another guy.
they should have used a different word or a
Yeah.
different way to.
If they
Yeah.
want to listen, terminology means nothing when you're talking about men. Men are supposed to be tough. We're talking about football players. Your words
No.
are not supposed.
No.
Antonio
not
Brown.
talking
Oh,
about-
he's
That's not
he's
the age
calling
we live
guys
in.
out. That's
That's
what
not the
leaders
age we live
do.
in.
I've been leaders of teams.
That's not the age we live in.
I've been leaders of
These
teams.
guys aren't built the same.
I don't even know what that means.
That you have to know what it means
What
because
is it?
we see examples of it all the time. You
What does
can't
it mean?
lead now the way you used to lead in the '90s or the way you used to lead in the
You
early
can't
2000s.
play
Because
now
it's
how
not
you
as
used to play in the
respected.
'90s.
and you can't lead that way because of that.
No. What are you talking about? You think that the rules mean
These
something
kids-
with the
these
locker room?
kids
The
now-
rules on the court have
These
nothing
kids
to do with the
now
locker room.
feelings are so.
And that's the
they're
problem
like
with it.
tissue
Kids.
paper.
That's the problem. See?
You just
I'm
said
talking about
kids.
the new generation. I'm
But
not
see
talking
what I
about
mean?
grown
That's why
men
terminology
being
means
kids.
nothing. So he's a slave owner now. Because he calling them kids. They're grown men.
I was
Mike.
actually talking
You just
about
said there was a
kids. I
problem
wasn't
with
talking
that.
about grown men. I was talking about the generation that's coming up.
No. You
That's
were
going
talking
to be
about the
raised.
rookies and second and third year
Oh,
guys
yeah.
that Ben Roethlisberger has to slap
I was
upside their
definitely
head
not talking
and
Every
get
now
them
and
right.
then. Every now
You
and
got to
then.
slap him upside the head and get him right. He's the
They're not
oldest
acting
statesman
right.
on the team. He's been there longer than Mike Tomlin.
I'm just saying.
Hey, he's been there longer than Mike Tomlin. He should have the loudest voice on that team. What's wrong with you? What are we talking about? Is it because Ben Roethlisberger is a little loud with his delivery, or because he has a radio show in which he calls guys out?
Because he's
No,
doing
there's nothing
the
wrong with
LeBron
what he's
James
doing.
right now.
But- and there's nothing
not
wrong with
giving
LeBron
100%
doing it.
effort and calling out teammates.
How you know he's not giving 100%?
Because I watched the film of him not giving 100% effort defense.
Listen. I want to put it on record right now that this guy has never saw a film of Ben Roethlisberger. He is totally
I was
making
talking
this
about
up.
LeBron James. I wasn't.
Oh, I thought this guy was somebody. He watched
But
film of Ben Roethlisberger. I said, where did
is a
you
guy
get this
who
damn
throws
film from?
interceptions and makes mistakes in big spots, and then likes to call out teammates when he should just be keeping his mouth closed. And maybe you do those things behind closed doors, but you shouldn't be the guy out there in front of everyone
Leaders
calling
lead.
out teammates.
Leaders
That's
lead.
not leading it. That's
Leaders
not leading
lead.
to me.
Leaders lead.
That's not leading.
Leaders lead.
I think it could be a nicer
Leaders,
approach.
Listen, let me
leaders
tell
take
you, when you're a leader,
accountability for
when you're a
their
leader,
troops.
when you're a leader, you don't
Leaders
care how
take
anybody
accountability for
feels
their troops.
about you.
You just want to get the job done.
That's it. That's
Leaders
it.
take accountability. for
We
their
don't have to hang out after this, and we don't have to go fishing. Our wives don't have to, go shopping
Go
together.
mingle.
That doesn't have to
It
happen.
doesn't
They gotta
work.
win.
Leaders
Doesn't
lead.
work.
Tom
Doesn't work.
Brady does it, and no one
No,
says
he doesn't.
anything.
Tom Brady.
He calls guys out
Tom
all the
Brady-
time.
Tom Brady does not call guys out all
He
the
doesn't
time.
do it on a radio show. He does it on national TV.
Tom Brady.
I've
Tom
seen him
Brady
go and grab
is-
guys right
Tom
hand and
Brady
face
will-
mask.
No, that's different. I'm not talking about that. Ben Roethlisberger can do that on the sideline in the moment. What I'm talking about
That's
is
not the way he
after a
leads.
game is over.
That's not the way he leads.
After a game is over, when you've thrown interceptions, when you've made mistakes, you don't go into the locker room and then get a microphone in front of your face and start
I've seen
pulling out
Ben
other people.
Roethlisberger
That's not
take
what you do.
responsibility for his own interceptions plenty of times. I've seen him say that I'll retire if I keep playing this bad. And Last year, you don't remember the midway through the
That's
season,
not a good
he
thing
threw
that's not a
5
good thing that
interceptions
you
against the
put-
Jaguars.
That you put that type of
that's
doubt
taking
in all of
accountability.
your teammates' minds
Oh
midway through
man,
the season.
look, God, you're worried about that, man. You're worried about that mind.
I watched Tiki Barber.
You're a grown
I watched
man.
Tiki Barber, a New York
Tiki.
Giant, say
I
in the
hate
middle
that he's
in the
making
middle
the
of the
Giants
season
reference
that he was
right
going to retire, and I saw
Well,
what
you
it
know
did
he
to
has
the
to.
Giants team. So you can't tell me that doesn't change the team's mentality or affect them when the star
If the
quarterback.
guy says he's going to retire,
he's gonna retire in
enjoy
the prime
the
of his
year.
career.
Enjoy the year. Why would your mind be messed up? Why are you thinking about next year anyway? There's nothing wrong with you?
That's
wrong with
sports.
that to
You're
you?
always thinking about
No, you're
next
not.
year.
You should be in the moment. That's what greatness is.
No, you prepare for the
I don't
moment
think you
the year
understand.
before.
I don't think
You
you
don't have
understand.
to. You don't have to.
Let me
be
tell you,
in the
I've
moment.
played
Anybody
on
front
some big
office-
stages, Nicky.
Anybody front office is
I
preparing.
played on
for
some
the
big
next year.
stages, some really big stages. And when you're playing in those big stages, if you're not thinking about the moment, you're thinking about later, even the fourth quarter, you're done. You're done. Because that person is digged in and he's worrying about just that possession, that guy that you're going against.
Well, that's why somebody has to lose because somebody's not thinking in the right.
You're not
in the
talking
right
in
frame
terms of
mind.
greatness. You're talking in terms of mediocrity. That's
Yeah,
what
but there's
people
only- but
people who are not that good. That's how they think. I swear to
very
you,
little
they think
examples of
that
greatness,
that you
though.
can think about other things other than what's going
But
on
there are
right there.
very
and
little
then.
examples of greatness. Is my point. How many
Whoa, whoa,
examples
whoa, whoa,
of
whoa.
greatness do you have to
I
show?
got tons of them.
No, you don't have.
For who?
You don't have
Are we talking
tons
about
of
Ben Roethlisberger?
Greatness, I'm talking about.
We're talking about Ben Roethlisberger.
No, I'm talking about
In
greatness
general.
in general. How many times how much greatness is walking around out here in the streets? How many great athletes can you point to right now?
There are tons of them. We just had an
Tons?
All-Star game. Yeah, man.
Of greatness?
Yeah, greatness, man.
Well,
You see,
that-
you're on the same.
we have to
These
define
guys,
greatness.
these guys.
We
Let
gotta
me tell you
define
something.
greatness.
Let's just pick a guy. You know what I mean? A guy. Let's pick a guy. KD. He's got to get ready every year to play 82 games. Has he missed since the foot injury? Has he missed more than 5 games in the season?
I don't think so.
It's been incredibly durable, right? Slim body, keeps himself great shape. He eats right. He works out all the time.
Okay.
You know, his shots always, he's there 2 hours before the game. His greatness is before he even gets on the court. That's what he doesn't. Greatness is not about what you do on the court sometimes. It's about the work that you put in, because once you get on the court, it's easy. It's easy.
We're not talking about, but I'm not talking about what is greatness. I'm talking about what it takes and what these guys are willing to go through to get to it. These guys aren't the same athletes that we've been looking at before. These guys are soft. These guys, they
To stay
allow
on topic,
outside
to stay on
things
topic,
to
we're
affect
talking
them.
about Bill Roethlisberger and his greatness.
And we're talking about how a guy like Ben Roethlisberger calling out teammates and making and trying to call his holding guys accountable to the media, taking it outside of the locker room. It doesn't work. That's not good leadership.
I don't know.
I've never seen it.
I don't see Juju having a problem with it, man. He got MVP of the team this year.
Juju
that's
is-
where
Juju
that's where
is a young guy
reportedly
who is just
hold
trying
on,
to
I'll
fit
give you a little news. Reportedly, Antonio Brown was upset that Juju Smith, whatever the guy's name is, Juju got MVP of the team. He stormed out of a meeting. Subsequently, he had to miss the next game. He got in trouble. He had to miss the next game. And that's when everything went out. He missed that game that was pivotal to them making the playoffs, all because Juju got the MVP of the team. So obviously, we're talking about a guy who's selfish, right? And who wants to blame everyone else for his imperfections or whatever's going on in his situation. Now, yes, Ben Roethlisberger has probably a little bit of fault. But if everybody on the team is not saying what he's saying, I'm not going with it. Juju gets called out all the time. When Juju fumbled the ball and caused them the game before their last game, and Antonio probably felt he should have got the ball, Juju went and said, you know what, I was wrong. I fumbled the ball. I should have went out of bounds. You know what I mean? He took ownership of it. He took accountability, and it was gone. Whatever Ben had to say about it, he was justified in saying that because he's a leader. If I don't say it, you're going to think that's okay.
To do
I'm going to say it so that you know that if it happens again, it's not okay. And that's what leadership is. You reinforce everything that the coaches can't. The coach can't do those things because the coaches have to find a middle ground.
Right.
Especially a guy like Mike Tomlin, who's not even an offensive coach. It's Ben's team. It's Ben's offense. He has to have his imprint on that. It's the reason why a guy like him gets a radio show anyway, is because he deals with so much. He made the offense. He was there before Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin came in, had a great defense, and said, Ben, you run that. And it's been that way for over 10 years.
Ben, you run that? Ben made the offense?
It's Ben's
I thought a
team.
guy named Todd Haley was the coach there.
Is it, how long he's been gone now?
That was who was there when Ben started.
How long has he been gone now? A long time, right? He's been gone for a
Todd
while.
Haley's been going a long time.
How many years?
Hey, all I know is the initial question, leadership. You don't lead by calling guys out all the time. You don't lead by trying to call it to make your teammates smaller than what they actually are. You take accountability for your teammates' shortcomings as a leader when you don't want to put too much pressure on them.
Can we
So I
can we
I
agree
can't go with
that you can call guys out, but you would like it to be done in a different forum,
Yes,
like in the
yes,
locker room,
yes,
opposed. Okay.
yes.
So I just want to get that out there.
Yeah.
My opinion is, as a leader, you got to call people out.
Yes.
He's saying where and when is important, I guess.
So that sounds like what I was saying already.
Yeah, it's a compliment.
It's important now to me. I mean, to this new generation.
Well, I know baseball is important to you too.
Yes, baseball is very important to me.
So,
Let's be fast with baseball. Oh,
God.
nah, I'm all
Alex
for it.
Rodriguez spoke about high-level MLB players. I guess they're getting too much money.
I mean, for me, I agree with A-Rod that the players do deserve the money. I mean, these guys are asked to play 162 games a season. It's very taxing. These guys,
They never sweat.
they do a lot. So I understand. But for me, I feel like that type of money should be reserved for the best player or two players in the game. And to me, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper are not the two best players in baseball right now. So I always like to see that contract ceiling get set at the best players. I don't like to see.
Who's the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League? Matt Stafford, right?
He was. I don't know if
He
he's still.
was. Who got? Somebody got more money this year?
Yeah, somebody else got money. Kirk Cousins got.
He got guaranteed money. And nobody making more money than him.
I don't know if
Gross
somebody-
money. And is he the best quarterback in the NFL?
Matt Stafford. No.
Yeah. Okay. Who makes the most money in the NBA?
I'm not even sure.
Chris Paul, $40 million a year.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Paul. Is he the best player in the NBA?
No.
Okay. So your theory doesn't
But
work.
those- that's his
But those
opinion.
aren't unprecedented. Like these guys are getting contracts that are like maybe maybe $1 million, $2 million, $5 million more than what the other guys below them are getting. These guys are getting blowing the other contracts out of the water.
Okay.
Like
Let
no
me-
one's getting
Let me
$300
tell you
million.
a little bit.
Understand
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I worked in marketing for a little bit, and if we both do a commercial, okay, I'm gonna get more money than him for the commercial.
Because you're tall.
Not only that, I might be a little more better looking as well. but
no. That's
I'm
where
gonna
the
get more money
evens out.
because
That's where it
I
evens
may
out.
have a bigger following, or more people might know my name or have seen me,
Right.
and I might be more. It's better to
Yeah.
publicize.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where's-
so I'm gonna explain something to
What's
him.
he talking about?
These guys that he's talking about are under Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. Their numbers are maybe a little bit better than them, but they're not more marketable than Manny Machado and Bryce Harper. Did you hear those names? Those are two cornerstone names in the MLB. Without them, what would the MLB be? You know Mike Trout, you know him, you know Aaron Judge, you know a couple of other guys. Manny Machado and Bryce Harper, they're getting those big paydays because of who they are. They put in the work. Maybe they haven't had 3 or 4 stellar years, but they've put in their work, and people know who they are, and they get fans in the stands. They get people watching games. Manny Machado playing. You know that name. I'm gonna go watch Manny Machado. I'm gonna Bryce Harper. It's your name that gets you that big deal.
See, for me, the problem isn't in the dollars and cents. The problem to me is deeper rooted. It's the fact that when these guys get these big contracts, they start to take plays off. They start to become different people. They're not the same guy that they were when they were scrounging around for that contract, when they were hungry for it. So for me, that's why I said it should be reserved for the best 2 or 1 player in the game, because when you're giving all this money to guys who haven't even reached their peak or haven't done everything in their power to get to their peak, you don't have any more incentive to work hard anymore now. And we see that a lot of times in basketball where we've got guys now in basketball where Tim Hardaway Jr., for instance. The Knicks gave him a lot of money this offseason, and everybody was just taking it back. And it's like, we can be mad, but everybody is making more money in the NBA now. But now, because of that, it's like, do guys even play defense anymore? Is it even, is there anything driving them to want to get better?
I think that'll
Are
fix
they
itself.
even
That's going to
worth
fix
the
itself
money?
over time. If you look, like I said, the landscape's going to change. Golden State's going to break up. It's going to be a different NBA, and guys are going to get held accountable for things like defense because teams are scoring at a really, really high pace. I guarantee next year's training camps are going to be defense folk. The focal point of a lot of training camps is going to be defense. But we got to move on to our real talk topic because we're pressed for time. But Jussie Smollett, there's new evidence that shows that he did not pay the two Nigerian brothers for the mugging, pretend mugging. This changes everything. It does. It really changes everything because I thought he was lying about everything. So to see that he's telling the truth about one thing, he may be trying to tell the truth about some other things. I'm serious. This is how stories break down. That's why I don't judge too fast.
I don't even know.
If he didn't pay them for the mugging, that means that they could be lying to authorities about other things.
But the thing is, like,
authorities ran with that story because they wanted to lock him up.
Yeah, but on both fronts, what do they each have to gain? From
That's my thing. I'm trying to.
Well, Jussie's got to keep his face. You got to lie until you can't lie anymore. You got to keep your face, man.
But was he was trying to be the gay Tupac? He said.
Listen, man, I took heat for that, man. I took heat when I posted that. People say, "Oh, you can't say that's insensitive." I knew he was lying when I heard that. What does Tupac have to do with any of this? He ain't bald headed. He ain't got no nose ring. He don't rap.
Life tattoo. I don't know what.
Man, if he bring up Tupac again, I'll find him. Man, he better not bring Tupac in this, man. He ain't got nothing to do with that. Let him rest, man.
Because he beat up some guys.
He ain't beat up nothing.
He said I fought back.
Yeah, he said, he punched me in the mouth. I punched his ass back.
He said they was choking him and poured bleach on him.
Yeah, they say they put a noose on him. They put a noose on him and the noose pop.
Why would
I think it pop, right?
Why would bleach be a part of my
attack?
attack?
Making up stories.
He can make them up. I can make them up.
And Juicy is black. You use bleach on. Never mind.
Look, I don't know. I don't know what
All right.
to say
To be
about this
continued.
story.
It's building. It's building. Next week there's gonna be some other. That's why I said I love the ones that just keep building.
I mean, we got this. We got R. Kelly.
We still got to. We're gonna touch on Cap next week too, man, because that's building too.
Yeah.
They're gonna have that number soon. A lot of people, a lot of different things coming out. I can't wait to find out.
I don't want to go the R. Kelly route. I gotta delete a whole.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
900 and something.
R. Kelly, you on your own, bro. I used to love you, man. You was my man at one point, man. But what you doing, I can't condone, kid.
I know we about
I
to
gotta
close
go
it out.
back to Chocolate Factory or something.
Black Men Speak. Let them know where they can.
Yeah. Underscore Black Men Speak, spelled just like that. Black Men Speak. Go look at it, man. It's it's just gonna be informative. I'm gonna post some things tonight. Your people that know me know that I never repost it. I just started reposting this week. It's a way for me to give out more information other than just me talking and my research and my crazy mind and things that I be, going through. So, check it out. It's a good page. I appreciate all y'all that's been, supporting us on every forum that we have.
Definitely check it out.
And check out Nikki Marie Radio.
Since
you put it out there.
Steady interviews going on. Hardest working woman on Instagram. Y'all get out of here, man. Go get some sleep, man. Get to work.
Yeah, let's go.
Peace.
See you guys next week.
Sports Talk Radio.
Yep, this new phone's gonna save it easily. I've got 32